So I was driving into work this morning and I noticed the big billboard. I pass it coming to and from work on Washington Street, and it's the big jackpots for the Mega Millions and Powerball games. And this Powerball jackpot is like in excess of $400 million. It would be an absurd amount of money for anybody winning it. At least to have it all fall into your lap. Certainly, there's taxes that come out of it, and then it's if you take the lump sum, the total is much smaller. But for most people, it would, as I say, it would be an absurd amount of money to have. And as I'm driving by, I thought, what would I do if I had that fall out of the sky and hit me on the head? I thought, you know what, I might build myself a private lodge where I could have all of my friends and family come for holidays and summer vacations and just reacquaint myself with all of them, give some money to charity, and I've got a couple of other ideas I do as well. But I got also thinking about the fact that there are people out there who earned money the old fashioned way, to paraphrase John Houseman. You may remember him from back in the 1980s. They earned it. And as I was thinking about these two different points, it struck me that a week ago I actually saw somebody who'd earned money having a private lodge renovated in Cassia County. I went over and I visited both with the fellow who owns the property as well as the people doing the renovations. It's called Western Visions. Western Visions Inc. for Incorporated, if you'd like to know more, with locations here in Twin Falls and Missoula. And they're remodeling a building that is truly spectacular. I'm told that one of the rooms in this house is the oldest freestanding room in Cassia County. It goes back that far. And what's happening here is they're renovating a house that needed new beams, support beams in certain areas, but when it's done, it's going to be a luxury guest lodge, private guest lodge. It's going to be just incredible to see for the beholder. And got to walk through it, and you see how they can literally get into an old building, and some of these old buildings do have structural issues. How you can then turn around and remedy these. It's like watching a doctor do repair work. Although I don't know that I could watch a house. See, a house doesn't make me quite so queasy as a doctor doing surgery, but it really is phenomenal what they do. A remodel or addition to your current home can be a fantastic way also to add to your lifestyle without going through the life disturbance of selling, buying, and moving. Your home is your personal environment. Giving it new life through redesign and upgrade of existing space or the addition of new floor space, such as that long dreamed of game or recreation room, can provide years of reward. And I got to meet the fellow behind the company. He's got a long, long resume. He didn't need to do this, but he loves doing these high end renovations. And if you'd like to know more, I'd recommend checking them out on the web. The company Western Visions Inc. The web address, western visions.com. That's western visions.com. It's 926. Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. A friend of mine made a comment on Facebook this morning how politics makes strange bedfellows. Ever since the election of Donald Trump, a great many people who call them, well, they're the conservative intelligentsia. They're a lot like liberals who want to tell the rest of us how to live. I look at some of these guys and I just wonder how out of touch they are with the public. Some of you are familiar with this guy, David Brooks. He's on PBS. He's a conservative on PBS, which should tell you something about him right away. He also writes for the New York Times, which should tell you some more about him. He was appearing on NBC, which is a third strike. I call him the effeminate conservative. And he was criticizing Donald Trump yesterday, joining with all of the media liberals and other fellow travelers in the country. Still claims he's a conservative. Take a listen.
Enemy of the people. I'm an enemy of the people. You know what? My fear of the administration as it's shaken out so far is not that it's incipient fascism. It's that it's anarchy. There are 696 appointed jobs that require Senate confirmation, and the Trump administration hasn't come up with names for 692 of them. And so there's nobody home in the government. The civil service has basically opted out because they've been offended by Trump. The court system has given themselves permission to block every Trump initiative because they've been attacked by Trump. The intelligence community is some sort of disarray or disaffection. To lead, you actually need to lead a government. And the government has gone AWOL. And so in one of those columns, I liken him to Captain Kirk on the Starship Enterprise at the command deck, pushing the pretty buttons, but they're not attached to anything. And I've been in touch with a lot of foreign officials this week. They're noticing, and they're afraid of a weak United States.
Now, conservatives traditionally have been opposed to bureaucrats. He's saying Trump hurt the bureaucrats' feelings, and now they won't work for him. It's his fault. No, it's the bureaucrats' fault. You're collecting a paycheck from the taxpayers, and the American people selected this guy to be your president, and they're paying the bills, okay? Now you go and you do exactly what he tells you. And I don't care about your feelings. I had a boss, one of my most legendary bosses was a fellow I worked for him for 6 years in a newsroom. And I thought my first name was G.D. Colley. I'm, uh, I'm abbreviating it GD, but when he would be angry with me, it would be a rather profane way that he'd come out of his office and address me that way a couple of times a week. And over the years, though, I really got to like working for the guy, despite his salty language and the like. And did I find it sometimes a little hurtful? It was like growing up at home. You should have seen the way my parents talked to me. But I did the job as I was expected to do the job, and the better I did the job, the less I received from him in that sense. The better he behaved around me, the better I did my job. Just saying. These bureaucrats out there need a good, swift kick right in the pants. Donald Trump is giving it to them. And the fact that they aren't doing their jobs because of it, I'm sorry. Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me. They ought to grow up, do their jobs, and it's not helping that effeminates like David Brooks are chiming in and making things worse. Bill Colley with you on Top Story on News Radio 1310, KLIX, and NewsRadio1310.com. I'll get that out, I promise. Got another half hour on this subject ahead, plus a couple of notes on illegal aliens, big rally in support of illegal aliens and refugees, led by the communist mayor of New York City over the weekend. Oh, thank you, liberal. We will kill you last. Useful idiot.